I've never seen a video about somebody reading confessions from Chili's in their life, so that's what I'm gonna do today because we're different, we're special, and yeah. We are going to be reading Chili's confession stories from our favorite website, Reddit. I ruined a date with my fiance and a bathroom at Chili's. Here's my story. Let me guess, you blew up the bathroom and it stunk and you had no toilet paper. Let's see if I'm right. It was a calm, warm summer night. The kind of night that fell between a Friday and a Sunday. Like Saturday? It was a Saturday night. Oh my god, how did I know they were gonna say that? Yo, why do my bangs look so bad right now? What do I do? I'm just gonna have to ask y'all to not look at me again. Cause what is this? Last Saturday, to be exact, the gal and I were at Chili's for a delicious yet reasonably priced dinner. The waitress was very nice and brought us our steaks at a very reasonable amount of time. I took a few bites of the steak, which was delicious and affordable at Chili's. Is this a promotion? And that's when it hit me. My stomach began to twist and twirl like a cat falling from a 3-story building. I ran to the restroom, dropping my pants along the way. So you just ran through the restaurant to the bathroom and you threw your pants off before you even got to the toilet and everyone could see? Is that what I just read? Am I assuming that correctly? Because that's what I imagine in my head, is they just rip their pants off as they get out their chair. Okay, they get up from their chair, they rip their pants off, and they run to the bathroom. Yo, what is going on with my hair? I think it's the lighting. You guys can look at me now, by the way. I fixed it. Where was I? So as to be ready to discharge immediately, I didn't time this right and ended up tripping and flying naked from waist down into the kitchen. I ran through the kitchen and was covered in flour, mustard, barbecue sauce, and even got pinched by a few crabs that were still alive. I ran to the restroom finally and bent over at an 80-degree angle and released a violent high-pressure cascade of both liquid and solid feces that erupted with such force that it destroyed the ceiling tiles above me and ruined some of the ductwork piping in the restaurant. This went on for about 45 minutes until Chili's ended up calling the EPA to assess/handle the damage my shit was causing to the environment. This is not a real story. What are you talking about? I've never seen anyone shit so violently in their life that it destroys the ceiling tiles. And you're telling me you literally took your pants off before you made it into the bathroom? And that caused you to fall into the kitchen, which is probably like kind of much further away from the bathroom door. There's no way. I don't fucking believe this is real. Fuck you. I'm reading another story. Now I'm mad and my day is ruined because of you. Because you lied. When working as a server in a 5-star dining establishment, a customer once asked for a to-go box ... He said he wanted to take the rest of the dinner home to his dog. He went on and on about his dog. He said he felt bad that he'd been so busy and wanted to take something special for her. I went to the back, sat my tray down, and turned around to grab a box. When I had my head turned, the dishwasher, trying to be helpful, had dumped the contents of the plate into a big trash can that we dumped all of our leftover food in. I didn't want the dog to be disappointed and figured the dog wouldn't care, so I picked the food items out of the trash and put it in a box. On his way out, I heard him say, "This was so good, I think I'm gonna eat it myself. So we need to stop and get the dog a cheeseburger on the way home." First of all, delete this before you get sued. This is a little too specific. Second of all, why didn't the dishwasher guy just ask, like, "Hey, are you boxing this or you want me to throw it out for you?" Why wasn't he washing dishes? Why'd he do that? And third of all, why didn't you just make him a new meal and tell him what happened and just make him a whole meal to go? Because I feel like that would have been the right thing to do, to be like, "Hey, I'm so sorry. This got thrown out on accident because the dishwasher's dumb and didn't think to ask if I was putting it in a box or not," because most people get boxes, by the way. "So we're just gonna make you a new one to go. It's just gonna be a few minutes." Because what if he was lying the whole time about the dog? Because he just felt embarrassed that he didn't want to be a fat ass and eat more food right when he gets home. Actually, don't delete this because I want you to get fired because this is why I don't like when they take my plate to the back to box it up for me. Also, I'm confused. This was supposed to be a Chili's story, but I don't know when he said that it was Chili's. Whatever. I can't even look at you anymore. So, get out of here. Get out of here with that story. And I hope you quit your job and you just don't work with food ever again. Don't touch anybody's food ever again in your life. Because what do you mean the dishwasher person literally dumped it in the trash can and you just grabbed it with handfuls to pull it out and put it in the to-go box? And was like, yeah, the dog will eat this. Like, why are we feeding human food to a dog anyways? Like, what is going on? I need to leave. I almost ended the video because of you and this story. I literally almost ended the video just now. Don't piss me off. Something happened at a restaurant that I need to share. Do you think this waitress thought that I was a child? I'm 21 years old, but people always tell me I don't look my age and say I look young. What happened recently was I was at a restaurant with my mom and dad, but the waitress almost offered a kids meal to me. I don't know what ages the kids meal ranges from, but when it was time to order, the waitress said to me, "Do you want the adults meal instead of the kids? Because the kids meal portion is really small." I told her that I was getting the adults after we finished our food and she didn't give us separate tickets. My dad had to tell her we're doing separate tickets. She was a bit confused about the split tickets and said, "Her and him? And then you?" Dad said, "No, us two and then him." And she went ahead and gave me the second ticket. Perhaps you have a baby face and you're just really short. Either way, I'm sorry this happened to you, but take it as a good sign because that means you look young for your age and you're probably gonna age slower as you get older and you're gonna look like you're 40 when you're 60. Also, I always get embarrassed because sometimes I do want to eat food off of the kids menu and I get embarrassed and don't end up asking for the kids menu even though I wanted something off the kids menu because it just feels weird. But sometimes they have, I don't know how to explain it, but if you know what I'm trying to say, you know what I'm trying to say. Like, sometimes I just want to eat something off the kids menu, not the regular menu. And I do want the smaller portion or whatever. And I just feel really weird. And the server, like, I feel like they would judge me, you know? I feel like they'd judge me and be like, "You want a kids meal? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?" And I did get judged by my family one time when I did order something off the kids menu. And like, what? Why do you want that? Why do you want that? Here's your kids meal, aha, laughing in my face. I'm like, man, I just want to be skinny, like... Get that negative energy away from me. I just didn't want to eat a full portion. Anyways, I don't really know what I'm trying to say. I'm just gonna read the next story now. I made the restaurant I work at lose hundreds of dollars because I kept forgetting to charge people for desserts. Before I quit my job, maybe in the last month or two I worked there, 90% of the time I would forget to actually charge people if they ordered desserts. I would always forget and then remember an hour later. By that time, the table would be gone. It's probably insignificant in the large scheme of things, but I probably made the restaurant lose out on hundreds of dollars because of the amount of desserts I forgot to put on people's checks. Well, if you go back to work there at some point, just let me know so I can get a free dessert from you. Also, like, I've never worked at like a restaurant as a server before. So I might sound really dumb right now by saying this. I've only ever worked in like fast food places, not as a server though. So my question is, when somebody orders something and you put the order to the kitchen to get the kitchen to make that thing, do you not have to put it on their check first to type it in and say, "This table got this dessert," and then that sends it to the kitchen that way? So unless you were making the dessert yourself, which doesn't make sense because I thought the kitchen makes the dessert and not the server, how would that have worked? How would that have worked where you forgot? Does anyone understand what I'm trying to ask right now? Somebody please explain in the comments how that would work. because I thought they have to go type it into the computer thing and be like, this table got this one, and this dessert, and this dessert, and this dessert, and then it sends it to the kitchen makes it, and then you can grab the plates when they put it on the thing, the little counter thing. You grab the plates and you run it to the table. I'm just gonna go on to the next story because I feel like I sound like really dumb right now. And I'm sorry for that. Okay. I've walked out of a certain chain restaurant chain. Guys, I'm tired. What's wrong with me? I can't even talk. I've walked out of a certain restaurant chain without paying over 10 times. Remorse. All of which happened while I was young, dumb, and broke. I won't mention the name of the restaurant, but it's a place where you can take your check to a counter to pay. Is it Chili's? Because this is supposed to be Chili's Confessions. The counter, which is in a gift shop of sorts connected to a dining area. Oh, I don't think this is Chili's, but I'm gonna read it anyways. It started with one friend of mine. How the initial idea got started, I can't exactly remember, but the plan worked to perfection every time, foolproof. If I read this person's plan right now, don't do the plan because of me, okay? You're gonna get people in trouble, and it's gonna be the server's fault, and they're gonna take the fall for you, and they're gonna have to pay for your meal with money out of their pocket. It's not gonna be bankrupting the restaurant. So if I read the rest of this story, don't do what they say, okay? Don't do it. We would eat, leave a healthy tip on the table for the server. One of us would get up first and walk to the restroom. The other would get up and browse the store for a minute or two and then go to the register to purchase a candy bar or something of the sort, and we would walk out separately. Leaving a tip and walking to the counter to purchase something were impressive because that took attention away from us. Had we got caught, the reasoning would have been a simple misunderstanding. He thought I was paying and I thought he was paying. We frequent the restaurant and would never do that, but you did do that. I just really hope no servers got punished because of this. So what I'm confused about the story is you were broke and you didn't have any money, yet you were able to spend money. So did you tip like $3 and then you bought a candy bar, so you only spent like $4 total for the meal? Yeah, you better not ever do that again. If I catch you doing that again, I'm gonna beat your ass. And I'm still confused because why were you broke but you were still able to buy a candy bar? Why didn't you just buy a candy bar and eat that for dinner instead? Next story. I just bullied a local restaurant out of $80. This weekend I took my friend to breakfast and I left a decent tip. I noticed tonight that I had 2 charges for the restaurant, one in the amount of almost $70. I went to the small family-owned restaurant and showed him my receipt and my banking app. I asked him, how are you going to fix this? He gave me $80 in cash because one of the charge, and I refused to tip the waitress at this point. I take the $80 feeling vindicated and head home. My anxiety makes me distrust everyone, including myself, so I sat down and looked at the bank app again. I noticed that prior to the debit I was infuriated about was a credit for the same amount. Yep, that's right. I'm a self-righteous bitch who borderline abused the same innocent restaurant owner and practically demanded he fire his waitress. She did little more than fail to communicate that she credited my account and then debited it. I pretty much feel like the worst kind of person. I think I'm kind, nice, and good, but I'm actually horrible. I have anxiety, and unlike, I guess, most people, I end up getting really aggressive like a injured feral cat backed into a corner. I've tried to change it, but obviously I'm failing. Anyway, I called the restaurant and owned up to my shit, and I'm returning the money after work tomorrow, plus her tip. I could never admit this level of asshole kind of shit to anyone who knows me. I'm confused how the waitress messed up to make it charge twice but not actually charge twice. Did she refund it and that's why? She charged it once to the wrong thing and then she refunded it and charged it again to the correct thing and she didn't tell you. So I feel like everyone's at fault here. But I think you're such a good person in the way where you said you're struggling to make yourself a better person, and I think that you are making yourself a better person by going there to give her a tip again and explaining what the mistake actually was and apologizing for that and everything. And I think that makes you a better person than you thought you were. So this obviously wasn't a chili story, so fuck you. Why was it in the Chili's category when I searched up Chili's? And then second of all, like, you went to make it right, so I don't think it's a big deal anymore. Yeah. Did something unbelievably childish when I worked at a restaurant. When I worked at a restaurant before COVID, I did something that now seems really crazy and childish. I wasn't getting along with the janitor who also handled food, and he always seemed really rude to me. And he would brag about sexual conquest. And he would pester other employees. Eventually, I was sick of this guy and decided to make his job harder in the restroom. You're disgusting. You disgust me. One day after work, after drinking a gallon worth of many different liquids, I urinated all over everything. All over the walls, the toilet, the urinals, the sink, the mirror. I even stand on the toilet so I could pee higher and soaked most of the square inches of the entire place. As I left the restaurant, I laughed like a maniac. What did the janitor do to you to make a biohazard in the bathroom for him to clean up? First of all. And then second of all, if I was that janitor, I would have called in a fucking hazmat team to clean that up. Or just quit on the spot, because that would have been his sign he needs to quit and work somewhere else. I need to know what the fuck he did to you other than being a little bit rude. Like, did he talk shit about you? Did he talk shit about your dog, about your mom, about your girlfriend, about your wife, about your child? Did he tie your shoelaces together? Did he trip you? Did he kick you in the back of the knee? Did he call you names and say you were ugly and fat and whatever? Like, what did he do to make you piss all over the entire bathroom? And are you 100% sure that he ended up having to clean it up and not somebody else who you might have liked and not hated because they weren't rude as fuck to you? I need to know. You disgust me, and I can't read anything else today. That's it. I'm done reading stories today because of you. And it's your fault, and if everyone wants to get mad, they can get mad at you. I'm not reading anything else today. Like, that was disgusting. And that's it. I'm ending the video. I can't read anything else. My bangs are fucked up. Send help. Send the hazmat team. We're done.